This evening, we were going to listen to Reverend Nobby Stiles, but unfortunately the conspiracy gave him a toothache, so he had to go to a dentist and have his teeth removed, thus he's unable to speak. So instead, to replace him, we have a Discordian preacher, a heretic for Bob, an absolute heretic, here to preach to us tonight. You may have noticed recently that the planetoid that used to be known as Xena has been renamed to Eris. This is because the astronomy organisation only allow you to use real gods. There's no fictional gods allowed to name the planets, which means that Andy's goddess that he's about to tell us all about is a real goddess. So give it up for the Andi-Christ.
Welcome. So I just put my little preaching hat on. Hello, how you doing? Welcome to the revival. Let's hear from Bob. So, as Christo said, yes, I'm a Discordian, slightly different from Bob, possibly a little bit earlier in time. Essentially, we worship a Greek goddess called Eris, who is the goddess of chaos and discord. And you might say to me, well, how? What's the point? What do you need a god like that for? What do you need a goddess like that for? But just look around you. How much chaos is out there? That's down to Our Lady Eris. So I was coming in today, coming in on the tube. I don't know if you've been on the tube before. You go on the tube, sitting there, and everyone's sitting and they're reading their newspapers or they're looking at their feet, and it's Friday night. And I noticed as well that when I'm on the tube and it's Saturday night, that often people are just as miserable. Sometimes Saturday morning you get on the tube when you're going out to do things, and people are just as miserable as Friday night. And I wonder what that's about. And the funny thing was, is when we came down on the tube today, we got as far as, you know how it is on the tube when it's all going great and you're just in time, it's all good, and then it starts to stop. And it did this thing where it kind of goes a little bit, and then it stops in a tunnel. And you know, once it's okay, I wasn't really in a hurry, it's the revival, not too worried. Then it kind of came on again, and it went a bit further, and then it stopped in the tunnel. And then it did it again. And it was at this point that I started to notice something rather strange about all the people that I was sitting with in the tube, because they'd all started to kind of perk up a little bit, and they weren't looking as bored, and they weren't looking as kind of miserable as they were. And it was the fact that something different was happening to their usual routine that was enabling them to kind of just sneak out a little bit from the fact that actually it's Friday night. And this is the theme of what I'm going to talk about today, is that we as human beings often mistake things for other things. And we assume a lot of causal relationships between things that aren't necessarily there. People say things like, my boss makes me angry.
Yeah!
Exactly, there you go. Or they wake up in the morning and it's a bit grey and they feel down. And they think that those things cause those other things. But in actual fact, if you thought about it for a moment, obviously they couldn't possibly cause other things. Because when it's grey outside, I don't feel down, and I'm sure you don't, and I'm sure you don't. But this person does. And when I meet their boss, he doesn't make me angry, but he makes them angry. And in an office, he might make these people angry, but these people don't get angry. So what's happening there? It's something about language, it's something about our ability to go, this person does this, or this happens and then this happens. Like it is a billiard ball universe, like from one ball to another, bang, bang, there it goes. And that's a very difficult wicket, because when you put yourself in that place where people make you angry, or this makes you feel that, or that makes you feel the other, you run out of power in the situation. If I'm at work and my boss makes me angry, all I can do is get him to go and work somewhere else, or I can go and work somewhere else. Or I can put up with the anger, none of which are very suitable really. But when you realise that actually things don't do other things, we respond to them, then you get a little bit of freedom in the mix. And because you have to be a little bit careful about the assumptions you make. There was a famous case some time ago now, back when HIV and AIDS was all coming out, it was all getting a bit hectic. And there was a small state that decided that they were going to sort this problem out once and for all. And that they weren't going to let their population get infected by AIDS. So what they decided to do is they built a large concentration camp out in the jungle, and they rounded up all the prostitutes, all the mother-in-laws and people that were a bit pissed off with each other,
all got rounded up and put in a concentration camp so that they would not spread the disease. And then what happened, of course, is those people that actually had HIV died. Those people that, sorry, I got that the wrong way around, didn't I? What I meant to say, those people that had AIDS full-blown actually died. Those people that got the virus, HIV, with no apparent symptoms were fine. And so what did the camp guards start doing? They started pimping them out because these women were fine. And it just exacerbated the problem. And then once again, so you have to consider, when you've got some kind of solution, whether you're thinking the same thing round and round, or whether you're going to do something slightly different. You know, for years, I took acid and it was all great and I had a really lovely time. And then I started to take acid and it was shit. Okay, I know. It's, you know, there are two sides of the same thing. And I talked myself round on this thing and I kept saying to myself, well, it's okay, the next one will be better. And I kept taking the acid and it kept being shit. I kept taking the acid and it kept being shit. And eventually I realised that if I wanted to stop feeling shit, I should stop taking the fucking acid.
Maybe it was shit acid.
Now, it's not rocket science, is it? But you see, often people trying to get out of a loop just keep repeating the loop round and round and round. And that's not going to work for anyone either. So there you go, position of, well, if it's possible to change the loop a bit, to change our responses, if things don't actually make us feel things and we've got some kind of control of it, then you've got to come, the question is, well, what sort of things do you want to feel? How do you want things to be? Those of you that have taken acid, of course, would have had the experience where you felt fucking wonderful. And you may have mistaken that for the something that acid did to you, but actually, I know for a fact now, having come out of many years of not taking it anymore, that actually when you just let go of fucking head going around and just calm down and take a relaxing breath, but actually any human body, if you pay attention inside now, there's a bit of you that's feeling fucking wonderful. But you weren't paying attention to it because your head was going, what's going there, what's going there. But just when you start to notice that bit that feels wonderful, of course, the more that you notice it, the more it spreads, and then you start to grin, and before you know other people are grinning, and then it just starts to spread like nobody's business. It's like, fucking hell, we'll all start enjoying ourselves. And that's just being alive. So when you wake up in the morning and you feel shit because you have to go to work, remember, just pay attention to your body, and actually, it feels really good to be alive. And, you know, if you feel shit because you've got to go to work, stop it. Because it's not going to make work any better, is it? I don't get this thing. It's like, it's bad enough that you have to go out and earn a living anyway for some people, but then they fucking get fucked off about it, moan about it all the time, and they go out in the morning and they've got to go to work and they're fucked off before they even get out of the house, and then shit happens and they get more and more fucked off, and they get to the office and they're just like, ah! Thank you. That's the against jobs there, kind of heckling a little bit. But of course, the law about heckles is they have to be funny. Sorry.
Have a wank.
And now we put me right off now. You only had one rejoinder, that was it. But so yes, yeah, there's two. Yeah, okay. So this is my thesis. The thing is that look, if you've decided for whatever reason that you have to go to work to earn the money to do what you want to do, then you might as well fucking enjoy it. And the fact that human beings can enjoy anything, if you explore the internet, for fuck's sake, human beings like stamp collecting, they like chucking themselves out of aeroplanes, they like chucking themselves off bridges. There's a fucking fat range of things that human beings like to do. And you know what? That liking is not out there. It's not in things. You can't dissect something. I can't dissect a guitar and find a liking in it. That liking's in here. Which means you can like anything. So when it comes, it's down to you. If you have to do it, then you may as well fucking enjoy it. Wouldn't that be more fun? Thank you very much. All hail Eric.